Okay, good evening, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. We're continuing in Daf Hashavua, Maseches Nedarim, Daf Nun Hey Amud Aleph. Zak the Mishnah. Hanoidim min Dagan. If someone made a neder from Dagan, literally Dagan means grain, but it could also refer to something that's piled. Aser b'pal hamitzri yave. She's aser in the beans of Egypt that are dry. Says the Ran, Hanodim and Adagan also parliament to Yavish, the Kivan dim mi dagan sha'oisin mimenu, the Kivan the midgan, since it's piled, sha'oisin mimenu dagan, that you make a pile out of it, Svir le the Rameir de dagan mikri. Rameir holds it's called dagan. And Divi Rameir. So even though dagan usually means grain, but the way the process is that you pile it and then you smooth it. So you also do this to the Poel Hamitzri Hayavesh. Therefore, people call them Dagan. And since Nedarim Hochim Achar Lashem Bnei Adam, therefore it is considered Dagan. Divri Rameir v'Chamimim Eno Aser Ela b'Chameshes Haminim. Rameir, the Chachamim say only the 5 species of grain are Aser. What are the 5 species of grain? Chita, Sa'ira, Shifain, Shiboilas, Shual, and Chita, Sa'ira, wheat, barley, Shifain, which is rye, Shiboilas, Shual is spelt, and oats. How do you say oats?
Kusman.
What? Oh,
Kusman.
Kusmin are spelt. So Shiboilas, Shual are oats,
Oh,
and
okay.
Shifon is rye. Yeah, Kusmin. Thank you. Haminim. Rabbi Meir Oimer Hanoidim min Hatvua. Rabbi Meir says if someone makes a neder from grain, Enoi Asr Lamechemeshes Haminim. If someone makes a neder from Tvua, only the Chameshes Haminim are Asr. So if you say Tvua, Dagan includes everything. If you say Tvua, you're only Asr from the Chameshes Haminim. Aval Noidim min Dagan Asr Bakal. If you make a nether from Dagon, you're usher in anything that's piled. Umutter beperos ilan, you're permitted in fruits of yarak and vegetables. Okay, says the Gemara. Lememra, are you gonna say the Dagon called the Midgan mashma? That Dagon is mashma anything that you pile? Is that really true? Mace must Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef asked the Kasha from the pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. The Chifroitz Hadavar, when the matter became widespread, Freud's Hadavar, when the matter became widespread, Hirbu V'nei Yisrael, Rashis Dagan Tirosh V'Yitzhar, Klal Yisrael gave in large quantities the beginnings, the first of Dagan, of let's say grain, of the grape, of wine, v'yitzhar and oil, v'chol tvuos sadeh, and all the produce of the field, laraiv, in great quantities. So after it says dagan, it says v'chol tvuos hasadeh. Now v'iyamr dagan called the midgan mashma. If dagan implies anything that you make a pile out of, mai chifroitz hadavar herbu. Then what is it? Why does it say? See, the Gemara doesn't really bring the main gist of the question. The main gist of the question is not from these words, it's not from the opening words. It doesn't mean to ask, what do you do with the words? And when it became widespread, the Klal Yisrael gave in abundance. It's from, the question is, what do you do with the words, Dagan Tirosh V'Yitzar? If the Chol Tvois Sadeh says all the grain, that means obviously Dagan is not all the grain. How could Rabbi Meir say that all grain is mashma in Dagan, but we see the pasuk had to include b'chol peiros, b'chol tvois haaretz? Says Gemara, no, really, Dagan includes all grain. And what does it mean b'chol tvois hasada? La'asuye peiros ilan v'yarak. That includes the fruit of the tree and vegetables. Says the Ran, "V'chroitz hadavar mikrahu b'divrei hayamim." It's a pasuk in Chronicles. D'bimei Chizkiah lo'hayu zrizin lahafresh truma samasa. In times of Chizkiah, they were not energetic to be mafresh truma meiser. Amar Chizkiah got up. The tikein, and he was masakin sheyaviu oisam beis Hashem, that they should be brought to the house of God. Uchsiv uchfroitz hadavar. It says when it was widespread, sheneschazka, it became strong. V'gavra takanasa shel Chizkiah hirbu b'nei Yisrael. Vi amr dagan kol demidgan mashma mai v'chol tuas hasada daha kol demidgan have b'chlal dagan. When it says kol demid, when it says dagan, it includes kol demidgan. So then v'imkein kol tuas hasada b'chlal. All the produce has already been included by kol dagan. Says Gemara, la'asuye peiros ilan v'yarak she'ein oisan dagan mehen, that you don't make dagan from them. So the Gemara continues. Rabbi Meir says, "Hanoider minat tvua." You're only also in the chameshes haminim, but noider minat dagan also b'koil. Amar Rabbi Yochanan hakom moedim b'noider minat tvua. Everyone agrees when you make a neder from tvua, she'ein also elamei chameshes haminim. You're only also from the 5 species. Meaning the Chachamim also agree. Which, by the way, should be Pasha. Of course the Chachamim agree. It definitely wouldn't aser more than that. So Gemara asks, oh, 1 second. The Gemara says, Tani Nami Hachi, Shavin, everyone agrees, but Noidim and Atvu, if you make another from grain, Shein Aser Elamei Chamesha Saminim, you're only Aser in the 5 species. Says Gemara, Pshita, obviously. What more would the Rabbanan are less inclusive than Rabbi Meir. What more could you include? Says Gemara, Mahu detema tvua kol mili mashma. You would think tvua is all inclusive. Kamashon doi mashri kol mili. So therefore the chiddush is that it does not include everything. Let's see. Other Ran, the Afagav the Tanila b'masnisim b'lashan yachid, even though the Mishnah brings it only as the opinion of Meir, divrei hakoli, everyone agrees. Mao the tema tvua komili masha mi de metargaminan, the fact that the Targum translates tvua alalta, va'alalta masha komili, alalta means anything profitable. Kedamrina lekaman, like we say later on. So therefore, the chiddush is that no. Okay. Kamash malon dulay mashma kol mili. The chiddush is it doesn't include everything. Says the Gemara. Most of Rabbi Yosef asked, but the pasuk says v'chafreitz hadavar. When the matter became widespread, hirbu b'nei Yisrael, Klal Yisrael gave in large quantities the dagan and all the tvua of the field. Let's see what the lashon of the pasuk is again. The lashon of chafreitz hadavar. Here, b'nei Yisrael, reishis dagan tirosh v'yitzar udvash v'chol tvuos hasada. So v'chol tvuos hasada, it's trying to say that it includes everything. What exactly is this question? What exactly is this question? It seems like the interpretation of Tvuos Hasada is the most all-inclusive phrase because after it lists called Reishis Dagan Tiroish V'Yitzhar Udvash, it then says V'chol Tvois Hasada. So that implies everything beyond the five species. How could we say, in other words, Tvua, we made a statement that only includes the five species. But that can't be, because we have a pasuk, and the pasuk already spoke about Dagan, which that itself included the five species, and then it says V'chol Tvos Hasada. That means Tvos Hasada includes beyond the five species.
But who said the lashon of Tanakh is the same lashon as Bnei Adam? I mean, we had before that it's
Who says the lashon of Hanach is the same as Bnei Adam? I think because this pasuk is actually narrative, and therefore this pasuk look in Tosfos. Tosfos seems to say that this pasuk, my words are microscopic. Um, Tosfos says, "Nehid dagan dechsiv ba'iraisa masar degancha loymashma elahim minin." So, how could Rabbi Meir say that it includes Pul HaMitzri? Miyu hahuda divrei ayam mashma kol mili. De'i b'lashon b'nei adam mashma kol mili. Demidagan hahu. De'i b'lashon b'nei adam mashma kol midi demidagan. Hahu nami mashma kol mili. It seems like this pasuk in Divrei Hayamim was written in the way that people talk. Look at you. If you look in the Rush, the Rush says V'hayre on the second wide line. V'hayreishes dagan d'chsev b'kra haynu mash nikra dagan b'lashon b'nei adam. V'kol de midagan mashma. It seems like this pasuk is so to speak written in the vernacular. Says Gemara. Amarava tvua l'cha tvua sada l'cha. It's true, tvua only includes the five species, but tvua sada is more inclusive. Fine. Bar Mar Shmuel Pakid. Bar, the son of Mar Shmuel, he gave a command. He ordered his children, the litnon tleisar alfizuzu Rava, to give to Rava 13,000 zuz. Min alalta de Nahar Panya, from the alalta of Nahar Panya. As we mentioned, alalta is the targum of Tvua. So, Shalchu Rava l'kamei de Rabbi Yosef. Rava sent a shaila to Rabbi Yosef. Alalta hechi mekarya. What is alalta? Rabbi Yosef masnisahi. Rabbi Yosef says, what do you mean, what is alalta? It's a brisa. V'shavin b'noidim min tvua. Everyone agrees that if you make a neder from tvua, shein asar ela mechamesh saminin, that you're only asar from the five types of grain. So alalta is the grain. So Rava, you're only entitled to the grain. Amalei Abai, Abai said to Rabbi Yosef, midami, is it similar? Tvua loy masha ela chamesh saminim. The word tvua is mashma only the five species. Alalta kol mili mashma. Alalta is mashma all types. So even though Rabbi Yosef said that from what we learned earlier, everybody agrees that Allah that Tvua is the 5 species. Still, Abaye says Alalta is more all inclusive. In what way? Let's see the Ran. Bar marshmal pocket Alalta echimikari shlohoy lo ravalito ella me Alalta sheyichaloi bar marshmal. Rava was told that he should only take from the grain that was designated by Marshmuel. Eino Yasser el b'chameshes haminin v'havasril el Rabbi Yosef. Yosef held the kimin da alalta targum tvua, who since alalta is the targum of tvua, chameshes haminin b'chod mashma. It's only mashma the 5 species. Alalta kol mili mashma. The alalta loshoin bia the hachnasa v'shavach. Alalta implies profit. So ahadru lekamei de Rava. They brought back word to Rava what Abaye said to defend him. Amar and Rava said, "Haloi kami baili." I never had a question that allowed to call mili mashma. That allowed to is mashma all things. Hada hudi baili. This was my question. Schar batim schar svinois mai. The question is, what about profits from houses and boats? Is that alalta? Mi amrin on kiven the pachsan lav alalta. Do we say since it goes down in value, so whatever profit you make from it is not alalta, because a boat and a house, it has wear and tear, so it's not called alalta, because yes, it brings in a minor profit, but on the other hand, it goes down in value. Or maybe since there's no way really to know what the diminishment is, alaltahi. Amru al Rabbanan kamed Rav Yosef. So the Rabbanan said before Rabbi Yosef, basically, the Rabbanon repeated what Rava said to Rabbi Yosef. That Rava said he never had a shaila about alalta. He only wanted to know about the rental. Amar. So the Rabbanon said, since Rava didn't need us, amai shalachlan. Why did he ask the shaila? Ikbid Rabbi Yosef. So Rabbi Yosef got upset. Okay. Shama Rava heard. The Asal Kameh, and he came in front of Rabbi Yosef, the Mali Yom Kippur, on Erev Yom Kippur, to ask for Mechila, Ashkeche L'Shameh. So Rava found that the Shamish, Davakamaza Kameh Kasa de Chamra, that the Shamish was diluting a cup of wine. Okay? So Amar, so Rava said to the Shamish, Havli de Imzagli, give it to me, and I'm going to dilute it for Rabbi Yosef. Like I mentioned many times, Rava's neshama was in light, and whenever you see a Gemara in Shas about wine, Rava is always there. Rava always, anytime there's a Gemara about wine in Shas, here comes Rava. And here's another example. Rava says, give me the wine. The imzaglei, I'll dilute it. Yahevle, so the Shamish gave it to Rava, the kamazigiu kasa the chamra, and Rava was diluting the cup for Rabbi Yosef. Ki kashasi amar. When Rabbi Yosef drank the wine, he said, Rabbi Yosef had no idea that Rava was the one who poured it, because Rabbi Yosef was blind. He says, Hadin mizga dami lemizga de Rava braid Rabbi Yosef bar Chama. The way this wine was diluted, it's like the dilution of Rava, the son of Rabbi Yosef bar Chama, because he had a special way to dilute it, namely, says Aran, Hadin mizga dami lemizga de braid Rabbi Yosef bar Chama. The Mosik al Chad Tlasamaya. Rava mixed wine, 1 part water, 3 parts. 1 part wine, 3 parts water. The Rava, who the Amar, Rava is the one who said, Kol chamra d'loi dori al chad tlasamaya lav chamrahu. Any wine that's not diluted, 1 to 3 is not wine. Amazing. Another teaching of Rava when it comes to wine. Rava teaches how to dilute wine. Amarle, hu nihu. Rava said, bullseye, you got it. That's me. How did you know? I'm the guy. Amarle, so Rabbi Yosef said to Rava, Loi teisav akarach, don't sit in your spot ad da'amrli perusha dahadin milsa. Until you explain to me the explanation of the following matter. Ma'idich, what does it mean? Umi midbar matana, umi matana nachaliel. And from the midbar, matana, these are the encampments of the Jewish people. And from matana nachaliel, from nachaliel bamais. What's the meaning of it? What does it represent? Are these just the names of the places that Klal Yisrael encamped? The problem is that these places don't exist. We don't find any reference to such places. The Ran says, "Ma'idich sevim ibn matana niskavin Rabbi Yosef lahazir Rava sheyehei shval ruach b'yoser." Rabbi Yosef was underhandedly telling Rava, don't be full of yourself. You need to be humble. So Rava said like this: Amalei kivan sha'oisa adam es atzmai k'midbar. When a person makes himself like a desert, shumufkar lakol, which is ownerless to everyone, and a person basically makes themselves ownerless to teach Torah to Klal Yisrael. Look in. Toysa says sheyim alame Torah lakoil. Also, the Rosh says that Torah nitno loy b'matana. Torah is given to them as a gift. So that's umi midbar matana. Shenemar umi midbar matana. V'kivan shenitno loy matana. Once it's given as a gift, nachalu kel. Hashem gives it to you as an inheritance. Shenemar umi matana nachal el. V'kivan shenachlu el. And once Hashem gives it to you as an inheritance, bamais, oila legdula, the person rises to greatness. Shenemar umi nachal el bamais. But what if after teaching Torah to everyone and gaining the Torah as a gift and inheriting the Torah, you become arrogant? But if you become arrogant, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mashpilai, Hashem lowers the person. Shenemar umi bamais hagai. Like it says in from bamais, the valley, Hashem lowers the person. Not only that, the person sinks in the ground. Shenemar v'nishkaf al pnei hayishimain, and it overlooks the desolation. And v'nishkafa is like v'nishka'a. V'im chayzer boy, but if a person does tshuva from his arrogance, HaKadosh Baruch Hu magbiyai, Hashem elevates the person again. Shenemar kol geyi naseh, every valley will be hired. Now it doesn't say that in that pasuk. It says in Yeshaya, in the Haftarah of Nachamu, the Ran says, "Avgav zoliksiv gabe haykro minachel b'mos da'iu b'Torah v'hay b'navim." That pasuk is in the Chumash in Chukas, and this is in Yeshaya. V'ilhachi kivin d'chsiv da Kadosh Baruch Hu mashpiloi b'gai. Since it says Hashem lowers like a valley, ma'isiraya sha'amashmal atzmai soifai lalos. It brings a raya that when you lower yourself, you'll rise. K'dechsiv kol geyi naseh. The Bali Musar say, from here we learn the importance of learning Musar regularly, especially for those who learn Torah. Because when you learn Torah, you're in greater danger to become a Bal Gaiva. So here you have someone who teaches Torah to everyone, and he rises to even a higher level that Hashem gives him the Torah as a gift, and he then rises to even higher level that he inherits the Torah, and then he's oila legedula. So don't say, okay, I'm already such a great teacher and I'm a great Talmud Chacham, so now and Hashem gave me the Torah as a gift, I'm immune. No, you're not immune. You're in danger. You're in danger. Watch out. The higher you rise in Torah, the greater danger you're in from the Yetzer Hara. Have a good night, everyone. Bracha latzlacha, shkayach.